I did have drains. I somehow, while I was sleeping 2 weeks ago, pulled them out. My nurse was like checking it, and she's like, "Where's your drain?" I'm like, "Oh, it's probably underneath my shirt over here." She goes, "No, where's your drain?" I'm like, is it over here?" Because seriously, I had no idea it had fallen out. Now, I'm not sure how much, I forget how much I said about updating you. I don't want to show you this because I had, I think, 17 stitches. I think about 6 of them popped already. And so, but in the middle of like the stitches go up and then over, like that much over, like that. So they go up and then over. And in the middle is where the middle of the gaping hole was. That was never stitched because they couldn't get it stitched. They couldn't pull the skin together. Um, but so that's still infected, not as bad, but still infected. Still got a nice, pretty deep hole. I can't see my implant because there's no implant there, but it is. I did have drains. I somehow, while I was sleeping 2 weeks ago, pulled them out. My nurse was like checking it, and she's like, "Where's your drain?" I'm like, "Oh, it's probably underneath my shirt over here." She goes, "No, where's your drain?" I'm like, is it over here?" Because seriously, I had no idea it had fallen out. She goes, "Your drain is not in the hole. Where is your drain?" And I'm like, "Oh my God." I went and she goes, "Did you pull it out?" I'm like, "I just got out of bed. Hold on a second." I went in my bed and it was in my bed. So I didn't have the drain in long enough. So this is still draining quite a bit. So I have to change it all the time. And then there's 2 other areas that are infected holes, like one up here a little bit and one down here. And they're open because the stitches fell out. Now my nurse also told me stitches do fall out a lot, but I was doing too much, so it probably was that, and I'll be honest. And it was also because it's not a good. My skin isn't very in the best. It's pretty damaged. It's pretty weak, so it's still a little infected, but not as bad as it was. And I haven't had a fever for a while. Well, there's been a few times that my nurse has come and she's like, "I have a low grade fever." But I don't usually feel when I have a low fever when she tells me, but it usually does go back to I just had a whole weekend with my kids and did a lot. Unfortunately, I tell her I'm a mom. I still have to do the cleaning. I still have to do motherly things. I still have to take them to appointments, be it much less before the corona thing. It was much less already. Now with the corona thing, we're barely doing anything. But it, I'm trying to think of anything else in that. And like I said, oh, I maybe I didn't. I also feel like I'm sitting around and letting the cancer grow because I can feel it growing. I have tumors under here and I have tumor here, and I actually had like maybe I 2 here and one down. Did I have that one? I know I had 2 and could feel another one here. Cause like when I go like that, I can feel the nodule and it's painful. So that's usually why I first check. Now I think I have at least 6 new ones, and I physically see one here, and right here, like right about there, I can feel a new one, and it's painful. My whole arm all the way down is painful. So I have probably about 9, 10 new, not new, but 9, 10 tumors in this area, and the majority of them are new. And so that is like when I feel that, I'm like, yeah, I need to be doing something to attack it because it's growing. But obviously, with coronavirus stuff, I can't do much right now. So I'm in this like just my brain keeps going back and forth, you know. And I want to make sure people know that I'm not saying I don't like the people with hospice. I love all the people who are my team because they are doing a lot, and they are really nice, and they go out of their way sometimes to do stuff for me. So I am very thankful. Um, so as of now, I'm still doing hospice. I'm still having them come out. Um, and what else? I still can't go out. And even when I do go out, I wear my mask, and my kids know They have to have hand sanitizer and use it too. And it's not all the way with them because of them, even though their schools are saying make sure you're doing it too. And the district and their county and state is saying make sure everybody does it. And usually kids aren't susceptible as adults, but because they have a parent who has, cancer and lower immune system, they have to be more cautious than most of their friends. So they all have hand sanitizer. Thank God we had lots of it here because my daughter had a fetish with all those little hand sanitizers for like 3 years straight. So we have tons of it, thank God. Because I went into stores and you can't find it. I'm trying to reschedule everything I can or hand it off to someone else if it's like having to do with my kids. I change my dressing about 2 to 3 times a day, depending on if I have to go out, I make sure I change it right before because it still does smell. And like I'm constantly asking my kids when I'm out, oh my God, can you smell that? Can you smell me? Do I smell bad? Because I can physically, like, if my shirt goes like that or something and a puff of air comes out, I can smell me. And I'm afraid everyone else can smell me. And it makes me not want to go out. And evidently, this is a common thing for people who have this kind of a sore or this kind of cancer. I'm getting more rest, obviously. I have to when my kids are here, we're doing games and stuff like that around the house, and they go out in the neighborhood. And I did go out over the weekend to a playground, not a playground, a park. All there were two people, other people. It's a huge park along the Delaware River in right as soon as you get into Philly. And so I walked around with my son, yes, with a mask, and we had hand sanitizer with us. There's barely anything there. There's no well, there might be a playground, but I don't know where it is. There's only a few park benches. We sat on one that didn't have a back, and then as soon as we got up, we hand sanitized. And there was only two other people in the whole area that we saw, and they were riding their bikes. One was an older man, and then oh no, I'm sorry. We saw those two people. They were mid-age riding their bike, and they came by us one time. But then we saw an old man and maybe his son and young daughter. They were taking pictures, video pictures of an owl, not an owl, a some rare bird that was there, a hawk or something. And we only saw them once, and that's all we saw. And so I don't think I really exposed myself. If anything, it was good for me to get out in that nice fresh air. Because you can only take so much of your own house air and indoor air. So I'm still here. I'm still living. As you can see, I'm still doing okay. Yes, I did just sleep most of yesterday and most of today, which is probably why I look like I'm well rested. And my hair is coming in a little bit because I haven't had chemo. You can kind of see right there. So I just keep my hat on, and when I'm in the house, I don't wear anything, but I did it for this hat or scarf or whatever. I want to say that a lot of people have messaged me and I haven't gotten back to you, and I am so sorry for that. I just, my hands really do hurt. I'm just now getting to the point where I'm able to do physically type more than go back to typing. I wasn't doing that, and people were asking me questions, and I want to apologize for not answering, especially the questions about me. I wanted to put out a video long ago to tell you guys, and obviously it hasn't happened till now. But somebody asked me a question about what the song is that is at the beginning of the intro of my videos. I'm not sure what the name is. Back a while ago, I was on when you make videos and you upload them to YouTube, there is these options to go under songs and sounds. And I just found that song that I liked, and I downloaded that and a few others. And put it at the beginning. So I couldn't find the actual video of the person who actually asked me that. So I'm sorry for not getting back to you, but that's your answer right there. That I don't know the answer. It's in the list of songs under YouTube songs. So sorry that I can't give you a better answer than that. If I find out, I'll let you know. I asked my son if he could help me, and he's like, I don't know how to do that. So I don't know, but if I somehow come across the name or figure it out, I'll let you know. Also, please pray for me financially because this month is my hardest month. We have the short month, which was last month, and then this month I had my daughter's birthday on the 8th, My son Micah's birthday is the 18th tomorrow, or yeah, it depends on what day I get this up. It might be today, and my birthday. So it's already hard enough when you have one birthday in a month and you're on a massively limited budget that barely covers your bills. But I have two, and I did get her gifts. I went out, but now I have my sons, and it's hard. And then I had to also, they said, like last week, go out and bulk buy your supplies that you definitely will need, like your vitamins and your medicines, ibuprofen, toilet paper, all those things that you can get ahead of time, get enough for like 3 weeks. So I had to put out all that money for that type of stuff. I get food stamps, but they don't cover that kind of stuff. So I don't know how I'm going to manage it to the end of the month. Thank God we can't go out and do much, but still I have to have money and I have to be able to do stuff and I have to get my son a gift. So, hey guys, sorry this is like a change of how I look and everything. I'm actually recording this 2 days after I recorded the other stuff and the lighting's off. But while I was editing, I realized that there was this whole piece that wasn't recorded, and so I guess what happened is my battery died way before I thought it died, and I didn't realize it wasn't recording a whole section. So while I just realized it as I was editing earlier today, and it's kind of late right now, and I just don't have the energy to go and put up all of the lights. But I wanted to make sure I get this video out to you, so I figured I would just really quickly record this part. I think a main part that I didn't talk about was how I was physically besides my tumor, or I'm sorry, my wound, and how that was doing. I know I mentioned a little bit of it, but when I came home from being in the hospital, I was noticing that I was trying to walk and it was just like taking everything out of me just to move my legs to walk. I was thinking that because I hadn't walked for so long that my legs were probably just really tight and I was still weak from being in the hospital. And I was noticing that I was basically okay around the house if I just had to go from like my bedroom to the bathroom or the living room to the kitchen. But if I had to walk like up and then back and then up again, like it really took a lot out of me, even for me to move my legs. I literally had and still have to like think about making my legs, push my legs to walk. And they feel really tight and they feel really heavy, and it's just so draining, and my whole body just like, ugh. And it's not just my legs, it's my whole body, my hands, to do anything. And I was just, of course, thinking, well, I just should have taken their advice and put those things on my legs and should have tried to walk more there, but I didn't. And it's just going to take a little bit of time for my body to, get used to being home and walking and being physical again. So I was doing a lot of stretching and I was trying to walk around the house as much as I could, but I was finding that I was like, if I was in the kitchen, I would just to like do the dishes and put them in the dishwasher, I ended up having to take my stool and sit on it and bring that in there. If I was making dinner, I would have to sit down for the majority of making it. And I found when I was going out to like the mall and Target that it was like so draining just to push myself to just walk. And I'm saying just the smallest little bit. I'm like, it hurt my legs, it hurt my body. I came home and seriously, if I went to grocery shopping or the time I went to Target or when I went with my daughter to the mall, it like drained me so much that I would come home and my whole body would be like recuperating for days. The next day I would sleep all day almost, and my whole body would be so drained, and I was like, well, I got to just try to do more. It'll change. It'll get better. And I finally just recently mentioned it to my RN, not my RN, my LPN, and she's like, well, that's just the cancer setting in, and cancer does take a lot out of you, and it's, that's probably what you're going to start seeing is you're losing a lot of energy, and your muscles will be harder to move and stuff like that. And I told her what I thought it was, and she's like, no. She goes, this sounds more like the normal progression of cancer. And I didn't really believe her, so I still went on with my normal daily routine around the house. And I found if I had to like clean the bathroom, I'd be on the ground sitting for a while. And it took me like probably, or it takes me, I can't say it's done because it's not any better. It's actually getting worse slowly, unfortunately. But like typically for, let's just say, cleaning the bathroom would take me probably 20 minutes at the most. And that's even cleaning the floor and the bathtub. It's quadruple the amount of time for me to have to do that now. And almost everything takes me so much longer. And even the kids are like getting frustrated when we have to go do stuff. It just takes so much for me to walk more. And when I am at places, I have to stop and sit, and it's just so not good. So, and then I finally gave in, and I forget where I was. I told my daughter, I said, oh, actually, I was with Christian and Amanda. We had to go into Walmart to grab something, and I knew it was like pretty far in the back of Walmart. So I knew I wasn't going to be able to just walk there, and I was too drained to do anything. I said, guys, if we go there to do that, I hope you're not going to be embarrassed, but I'm going to have to use one of those the little car thingies, or the little stools, the electrical things that you see the old people driving. And they're like, oh, that's okay. And I used that. And then, so they knew from that point that when I went to Target, I used that. When we went to grocery store, I would use one. Mandy was pretty embarrassed to have me do it, but she got used to it. Just like they were embarrassed when I had to go out with the mask on. But now with Corona, of course, everybody, it's just common. Except for they're like, they're going to think you have Corona. And I'm like, oh, well, you kind of can tell. I don't. But, so it's just taken this whole cancer is making me so much more tired. And I'm pushing myself. So I don't do as much. And normal housework, it just takes me so much longer. I still get the stuff done. I think my house is probably the cleanest it has been in a while, because I'm forcing myself to do stuff and can't go out and around and do stuff with the Corona, so I'm doing stuff in the house. But and my body has been really achy, and I think I mentioned earlier that I have more tumors under my arms, and I've noticed today and yesterday that like my whole arm all the way down is like constantly in pain. And so I was feeling around, and I can like, even just in like 3 days, I feel like there's another nodule, tumor, whatever. And one that was just, I was able to feel, I could actually see it more now. I can actually see it, not just a little tiny bump. It's actually very obvious. So the cancer is it's obvious now in my body. I feel it, even though I don't want to admit that I'm in a progression. I don't think I'm dying. It's obvious that cancer is really setting in. So I wanted to give that update. And everyone out there, just stay safe. I pray for a cure. So if you're dealing with coronavirus, or someone you know is, or you lost someone to it, I just pray that God helps us all through this, okay? Alrighty. Otherwise, thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your thoughts. Thank you for your kind words. and continue to pray that I get better, so that this heals, so I can start chemo up again. I know, it's weird. Who prays to be able to go on chemo? Me. Somebody who's been put on hospice does. So, and pray that if I am able to get it, that my cancer team is cooperative in letting me try things and going back to what I was on, the chemo that I was on. All right. Otherwise, I'll talk to you later. Love you guys. Bye bye.